There are some Saturday afternoons where you think it's not going to be your day, but thinking like that is often counterproductive. Thanks to quick thinking from Liam Roberts and a bursting run from Joe Gardner, the Stags got a point at home to Stevenage on Saturday afternoon in a fine display of counter-attacking football. But there are still some questions to be answered. Like, why can't the Stags defend from set pieces? And why can't the Stags find their finishing touch? Well, hopefully, as Gardner gets his fitness, and Tyler Roberts does as well, we may start to see some more fruit in front of the opponent's goal. All of that talk, plus lots more tonight on the show for the fans, by the fans. This is the Mansfield Matters Podcast, the place to have your say on your team. Come and join us. Hello and welcome to the Mansfield Matters Podcast, the show for the fans, by the fans. Hope you're having a fantastic week. You know, we were all having a little natter then and we sort of lost track of time. And I just got to thinking, Mansfield Town's Mansfield Matters will never win any awards by sitting there, chin wagging away to each other, not even bothering to look at the time. It was like we're having our own little private podcast before we'd even started. So I apologise that we were 2 minutes late starting, but that 2 minutes maybe has done a favour for Thomas Nathan tonight, who says, "Wait, actually managed to make it to a live." So welcome to the live arena. And if you are here for the very first time, or you want to have your say on your team, drop it in the comments below and have your say on all things Mansfield Town. But who is joining me tonight to talk all things Mansfield Town? Well, let's go through the team lineup then. It's the man who can talk about playing for his country, but he can't talk about witnessing one of the greatest ever counter-attacking goals of all time. All he can talk about is hearing it. It's the blind stag. He's not late. We're not going to wait. It's Nathan Edge. Evening, Nath.
Evening, Craig. Evening, everyone.
And it's the man who arguably was chasing Joe Gardner down the tunnel at One Call Stadium on Saturday to try and get hold of his shirt. It's Nick of Mansfield Town Shirts fame.
Hello, Craig. Hello, everyone.
And it's the man who managed to shout out and start out a new trend. Mansfield Town goal scorer for the Stags, Joe Gardner. It's Mr. Alan Wilson, a.k.a. the voice of One Call Stadium.
Good evening, Craig. Good evening, everybody.
As always, good to see you.
Good evening, Craig. Good evening, everybody.
Good to see you. A little bit of lag, but we'll get through it. Right, let's kickstart then, shall we, by going back over all things Mansfield Town from last week. Plenty to talk about. We're going to talk tonight about Lee Gregory and, of course, his retirement, which was announced late last week. We're going to talk about things that we've been doing off the pitch this week, like inviting a local deaf goalkeeper to train with the first team ahead of a potential trip to the Deaf Olympics. We're going to talk Nick's favourite subject. We're going to talk shirts and how terrible that green shirt is, as we're due to play in it again on Saturday at Port Vale. We might even talk about sponsorships and ask the question, are we being priced out of sponsorships? We'll look ahead to Port Vale and look to see just how far we've come since the last time we locked horns in league action, which was, of course, on the big stage at Wembley in the playoff final. We've played them in the Cup since then, but that doesn't really count, does it? But first and foremost, Nathan, let's go back to Saturday afternoon, shall we? 1-1 draw against Stevenage. Do you know what I love about football? Are the genius chants. Stevenage score a goal, start singing, we're top of the league, all of that sort of stuff. Liam Roberts grabs hold of the ball, thinks, nah, I'm not having this chant, I don't like it. Throws the ball to Joe Gardner, he pegs it half the length of the pitch, sticks it in the back of the net, and top of the league, and you fucked it up.
Yeah, enjoy it for the 3 minutes that they had it for. Yeah, it was. It was a good job. I think we hit back when we did, because yes, Stevenage were top of the league for a short period. They were a strong side. I didn't feel like they were top of the league side in quality, but there was one of them that was hard grafting, what you sort of usually expect from a Stevenage side. So I think if we didn't hit back as quick as what we did, would have found it a lot harder as the game went on. So when with them having someone to hold on to and getting close to the finish line, so a bit of individual greatness brought it for us. Well, if you want to add in obviously the assist from Roberts as well, you can. But yeah, Gardner stepped up when we really needed to, because it didn't look like we were going to really get a goal, even though we weren't playing bad. We weren't playing super. We weren't playing bad, but it just needed that bit of individual brilliance to get us a deserved point, I think, in the end.
It was a deserved point in the end, Alan. And as much as Nathan says, Gardner did a lot of the hard work, you've got to give a whole heap of credit to Liam Roberts in goal, haven't you?
Yeah, because his distribution, Craig, apart from that one on Saturday, I thought it's been first class. He's been really good with his distributing out, from both sides. And it was just a perfect opportunity on Saturday, wasn't it? But he had such a lot of work to do, and he just kept going, didn't he? And you just got that feeling as soon as he let go, that was it. It was going to be, you could see the net rippling, and it was a cracking goal. But, like Nathan alluded to, I said on the Thursday podcast that we needed that first goal. And obviously we didn't get it. They did. But like Nathan said, if we hadn't have hit back when we did, I think we would have really struggled. But I thought it was a decent performance, and it was nice to see Sweeney back to his something like his best.
Yeah, we said last week in the podcast, Nick, that Sweeney's taken a lot of stick this season so far, but has predominantly been playing in a back three rather than a back four. It was the first real time we got to have a look at him, and he settled in well. Good leadership skills, got man of the match. I thought Bowery picked him personally for man of the match, Nick, but he looked like he'd settled in, and I know Bailey Cargill will potentially be available this weekend, so Clough might have a little bit of a headache there.
Yeah, I think I had Gardner as man of the match, because I think without him, I don't think we'd have got anything out of that game, to be fair. But yeah, Sweeney was okay. I think the issue was, I think you saw a real difference between Cargill and Sweeney, because the amount of times that Sweeney got the ball and could have gone forward and didn't, and turned around and went backwards, whereas Cargill would have just pushed through their first line of forwards, and then then it pushes us on. Whereas Sweeney is a man who really wants to turn around and give it someone else. And I think we saw that a few times where Bowery would push past their centre forward line and hustle into midfield, and then it opens a bit of space. And I don't think that's Sweeney's game. So you do lose, I think, a little bit when you haven't got Cargill playing. But he didn't get outpaced, really, or really look. There wasn't that many chances in the game, really, was there? Other than the late flurry at the end, there wasn't really any great chances. I don't think Jamie Reid had a great game for them up front. I don't really think they really knew how to get around our defence, and I think we struggled really to get around theirs. But Sweeney was okay. I think he'll have worse games, which he already has done. He'll have better games, but it was nice that he was okay and didn't really look out of place.
I felt a bit sorry for Jamie Reid, to be honest, Nathan, because he was quite bamboozled, because last time he was at One Call Stadium alongside Jordan Bowery, they were playing in the same team up front together. And every time he turned around on Saturday, he saw Bowery alongside him and thought, I don't know whether to pass to you or not.
No, like I say, I mean, he was a top goal scorer in the league with 5 goals already this season. So we probably expected a bit more from him. But again, like we've sort of alluded to there, both Nick and Alan said that we defended really well. I think we have done for quite a few games now, to be honest. We have defended pretty well. We've cut out a lot of that nonsense that we were doing at the start of the season. So, credit to us for keeping him quieter. Whether he's having a bad game or not, I don't know. But the same for all of them. Like we said, we didn't create a lot, but neither did they. And given where they are in the league, and they were going to be, high in confidence, I think, and they, they've got the long throw. I know they didn't use it as much as what we probably anticipated, but they still like to get the ball in the box as much as they can. And again, with Axon, Bowery and Sweeney, they dealt with pretty much everything that was thrown at them. So at least we are, getting that part of the game right. It's now the other end of the pitch where we're just thinking if we can click into a bit of form up top, then we should see a little bit more success.
As pleasing as it was to get a point out of the game, Alan, one of the things which frustrated me was set pieces yet again. We looked vulnerable defending them. I know they've got Pierre Gianni, who is always a threat from set pieces. To be honest, I thought we kept him relatively quiet. I only counted 2 headers that he won over Sweeney in the entire game from set plays, which says a lot really in the balance of games. Sweeney sort of kept him relatively quiet. And if you watch back their goal, it was almost because we were keeping Pierre Gianni quiet. We didn't pick up the second runners, but we've been guilty of that quite a lot this season. I still feel like we've got a lot more work to do in defending set plays.
Yeah, I think it all depends, who's going to be in the defence at that particular time, Craig. It seems to be, if Sweeney's going to be playing, obviously Cargill's not, Sweeney's got to get to grips with Barry and vice versa. But I just think at this, from what I've seen up to yet, Cargill and Barry seem to be a preferred choice. They seem to be more together, if that makes sense. But obviously Sweeney did okay on Saturday. Cargill's out, so he's got a point to prove. And let's see how he goes. But yeah, the set pieces do worry me a little because, that there's a lot of times that we do look rather unsteady.
I think the same can be said, though, for the other end of the pitch, Nick, because you look at the players we've got within our squad. Yes, Barry is always going to be the man to stay back, although I would love to see him go forward and attack corners and see someone else be kept back. Maybe he's got the height, but Sweeney has been pinpointed as a threat from there. Blake Tracy in pre-season looked like he was going to be a threat from there. I know he didn't feature at the weekend as much, but it's one of them, isn't it, where we perhaps should be doing a little bit better from our own attacking set pieces. And Nigel Clough even alluded to it himself, didn't he, at the end of pre-season, that we'd not worked on them yet, and we definitely needed to. I think we still do.
Yeah, I must admit our delivery's pretty poor, isn't it? That's half the battle is the delivery. I mean, I know you look back at, we had Flint for 2 years, and I think I can count the amount of times a corner actually found his head. And I don't know how you can miss his head from our corner, but the delivery is half the time is the battle, isn't it? It's not, it's not good enough, or we never seem to have that just where we've done something a little bit cleverer, maybe take a short one every so often. I mean, I don't really like short corners, but just try something different. We just float it in and the goalie gets it. And I think maybe a bit of variety would probably help. But we're not the tallest, I guess. And like you say, Barry stays back and Reed goes in the box, which befuddles me week upon week. How Reed's going to win the header, but Barry's not. But maybe they just need to practice. We definitely need to practice throw-ins. Do you know how many throw-ins we messed up on Saturday? It was unbelievable. I want to have a bad game. It happened. They got simple pass back, and it just. I counted. I said to my dad, "That's 6 times now from throw-ins during the 90 minutes that we just gave it straight away."
One
in
thing
good positions as well.
Yeah, one thing I think which we lack on is the long throw. Nigel Clough has never really been a massive advocate of the long throw, but it seems to be a trend which is coming back a little bit now, Alan, the long throw. You see other clubs doing it. You saw we struggled to defend against it a little bit on Saturday against Stevenage. We've seen other clubs this season utilise that long throw. I think Wickham did it quite a lot, etc., etc., etc.
Bring back Big X.
We've got Elliot Hewitt in the side who can throw long when he gets a chance. Aaron Lewis, when he's on the pitch, he's got a long throw in his locker. We should be utilising it. When we've got players like Sweeney, Bowery, FBT, Cargill when fit, who can go and attack it. And, now we've got more of a physical striker in Tyler Roberts as well. We should be utilising that long throw.
Well, hopefully that'll come into fruition, now that we've got Tyler Roberts, who can actually hold the ball up quite reasonable. But it's just getting Hewitt and Lewis on the park, isn't it? Because they're the two, like you say, the main people who do the long throw. Am I right in thinking Barry's got a long throw as well?
Jordan Barry's got everything, mate. Jordan Barry's got everything.
Yeah, but I do believe he's got a long throw as well.
You name it, like Nick says, you name it, he's got it. I do have to interrupt. Exactly, the Jordan Barry Bishop Street stand is for a reason. Do have to interrupt this broadcast though, Breaking news from the Mansfield Matters comment section. A man who has previously slated Jordan Bowery has finally praised Jordan Bowery. On Thursday, the 18th of September, at 7:46 p.m, Adam Crump wrote on Facebook, "From someone who doesn't love Bowery, his best position so far is centre-back. Laid back and solid, not chasing attackers at right-back." The Mansfield Matters podcast panel were in a state of absolute shock at this latest revelation. For the latest live reaction from the Mansfield Matters podcast, Representative Nick of Mansfield Town shirts fame had this to say.
I stopped reading that from someone who doesn't love Bowery. I don't want to read anymore. That's it. I've got no interest in that after that. You say what you like. Give me the winning lottery numbers. I'm not interested.
Founder member of the Mansfield Matters podcast, Nathan Edge, added,
I think this just goes to show what a strange world we're living in right now.
And voice of One Call Stadium, Alan Wilson, finally added this.
Fair play to Adam Crump. He's changed his mind and he sees what, quite a few of them have seen for a while. Good luck. Well done, Adam.
Rumours continue to swirl that Adam has been seen outside the brand new Mansfield Town's club shop asking for a home shirt with Bowery 9 on the back. We'll bring you more on that development when we get it. That's the latest from the Mansfield Matters news desk. It's 49 minutes past 7.
I like that. It's good.
What? Sorry, what happened there? I went into a complete.
Turned into an anchor, didn't you?
What?
A weekly feature.
I turned into what?
Feature.
Anchor.
What Cam was back then? Oh dear. Yes, we can make that a weekly feature. Do you know what? You know what? It's on the cuff features like that, Nathan, which really make me miffed that we've never been nominated for an award. 9 series, never been nominated.
Never going to happen, is it? Never going to happen.
Never going to happen. Anyway, where did we get to? As always, have your comment, have your say in the comments, and have your say. Adam, fair play for coming out. I know it was a brave thing to say, and just because it was a brave thing, I want to show it to the whole world as well. They can see it on screen now. It deserves well done for finally admitting that Jordan Bowery is good. Right, so let's move on, shall we? Continue to look back at all things Mansfield Town. As always, if you want to have your say on your team, like Adam's done, you can do so in the comments. Let's have a look at Gardner then, shall we? No, not the bloke that's going to come round and mow Nathan's lawn, but the man, Joe Gardner, on loan from Nottingham Forest, who, of course, we didn't see in pre-season unless you had the trip to Ireland and didn't blink and miss his appearance at Sligo. We saw him; he was on the bench for the Wickham game. If you went to the horrible cup game against Harrogate, you would have seen him. And of course, he came on against Stevenage and played 45 minutes and looked really, really sharp. Alan, you've seen him in 2 games now because obviously you, like I, was at the Harrogate game. What have you? What do you make of him?
Well, I thought he was one of the shining lights against Harrogate, in my opinion. He held the ball up well. And if and when he loses it, he always gives 110% trying to get it back. That's one thing that stands out to me. He's a real tackler and, a gritty type of player. And he'll just keep going. And like we said, on the goal on Saturday, well, it was just great to see. He does look a good prospect, to be fair. He knows how to pass the ball. He knows how to hold it. He can dribble. He's got the works.
And speaking of people who
comes from Forest under 21, so he should be something like.
Speaking of people who can dribble, Clive Parkin, we all know that name, Mansfield Matters podcast panelist, who wasn't available. Well, wasn't selected for selection, so we try and keep it as 4. He'll be back in the next one. Says he's not fully fit, but Gardner could well prove to be the goal getter we all want. What do you make of that statement, Nick? Because he did look lively, he looked hungry, and we'll talk about Will Evans more in a minute. But I think, like Clive's mentioned there, he could well be the piece of the jigsaw that we've not yet been able to locate.
Sounds a very knowledgeable chap, that Clive Parkin.
He does.
We should get him on the podcast.
Get him on the podcast.
Up the Clive. Yes. He looked really good, didn't he, when he came on? I thought he looked fast. He looked quick. He looked like he wanted to just run at players. didn't seem too concerned with doing fancy stuff. Just got the ball and ran at them, and I thought their defence didn't really know how to cope with him. I thought him and Senor Lewis made a real difference when they came on. I'm slightly befuddled by the Evans on the wing, Roberts up front malarkey, because Evans, Roberts did about as much running as I did, and I went to the toilet once. So I was a bit confused about why they weren't swapped around.
Did this train need to leave the station?
It was a number one. Nothing. It was nothing.
So there was no running involved then. No running. No Christian Pearce style run down the tunnel.
No.
Fair
it was
enough.
more Yusuf than Pearce.
Okay, yeah, more Yusuf than Pearce. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. But he can. I think he can play across those four roles. I think he can play on the right, the left. He can play in the attacking midfielder. He could play up front. So I think with a bit more fitness in him, maybe for a few games he might get brought off the bench. I was thinking on the way in, do we really want to throw him straight up front? He's not had a lot of games. We don't want him to get injured. Let's just maybe bring him on for a couple more games. A couple more games off the bench. But I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what our first choice front line looks like in a couple of weeks when everyone's fit. I'm not sure. I don't think Roberts up front is the answer. I think I prefer him a bit deeper. But then, Evans has been pretty bang average up front. Dwyer's a weird one, isn't it? What's going off with him? He was awful against Harrogate, but then I thought to myself, well, he's not played, has he? He doesn't bring him on at all. So I don't know what's going off there. There's something not right about Dwyer at the minute. I don't.
No, Nigel Clough has clearly seen that we all put him for top scorer in our pre-season predictions.
We sold the last one, didn't he? The last guy we had for top scorer, he sold.
Yeah, so I'm not letting these get anything right. They can absolutely do one.
So I don't know what's going off there, but the Gordon looks a really good player.
Yeah, what have you made of him, Nathan? He does seem like a breath of fresh air, but sometimes when you're making your first appearance, it's all about how you can sustain that, isn't it?
Yeah, and it'll be a matter of if other teams, once they start seeing what sort of player he is, they might start to learn how to play against him. So, because obviously he's new to the league at the minute, so there's all that to come. But it's a needed option for us at the moment. Like we say, Evans unfortunately Sir Will Evans is unfortunately sort of not quite on form, especially in front of goal anyway. And nobody really is, to be fair. So in the striker department. So I'm excited about Roberts. I think he is going to bring something that we need, and it's certainly in regards to linking the play up and holding the ball up there. It's just a matter of who can we get up there with him to put the ball in the back of the net. We've got Gardner. Obviously, he's got a goal. Hopefully, with a bit of confidence, that'll keep him going. But get him going really well. But he's more of we may see him more out wide. I think a bit more because he's got that more of a direct pace to run up defenders. We kind of just need unfortunately, a Lee Gregory type of player, and we haven't got that, and we're not going to get that now, are we? Unfortunately.
More on him in a minute. Just a quick question, which will make no sense to anyone watching this. But Alan, can you now see the comments?
Yes.
I pressed a button. So you can see it. So there you go. You're welcome. And speaking of comments, what about this one from Thomas? I have to say, Alan, that I quite agree with this, actually. Evans just feels right on the wing, and Roberts is more strength than runs. I think from the Evans side of it, when I saw the lineup and when I saw how we were shaping up, I said to my dad, who is not Evans' biggest fan, I have to say, he might surprise one or two people today. He's got a natural left foot. He's got a bit of pace about him. He knows where to put the ball. And let's not forget, for a long time for Newport, he was playing on the left-hand side. I think he could do some damage for us on the left wing.
I'm going to say there are a couple of bits, weren't there, where it flicked it in between the legs of their defenders and carried on and played he got a good interlink passing with Roberts at the time. But I'm not so sure. I'll hold out on my verdict on that one. We'll have to wait and see. But I would like to see more of Dwyer. I really would.
The only thing I was going to say about Roberts in that up front, he doesn't press enough. That's the only problem. And I know you can't run around all day, but the amount of times Piergiani got the ball and literally just walked out with it because Roberts was just jogging. I know you can't have everything at this level, and he's not going to be sprinting around like a madman. But at least when you've got Evans, he does press, albeit he can't shoot. So that is a slight problem. But Dwyer for me was had the strength of Roberts, but also had the tenacity and the pressing, whereas Roberts has got zero of the pressing. So, that's slightly worrying. But
I do feel like the thing for me should be.
I've got a comment on my head, Craig.
I've just realised. So that's why that happens. Okay,
I presented people's opinions. Oh, it's gone.
No, yeah. So have the comments now disappeared for you, Alan?
No, they're still
they
there.
stayed there now. Okay.
No.
All right. I don't know why they do. I don't know. We're playing around with new software. Very professional. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Evans. For me, Nate, I think it's an interesting one because he's clearly not a striker who can be the lone striker. He clearly needed Lee Gregory last season. He was poor without him. But I think the way in which Clough is trying to line up, it's going to be more of a fluid thing. If you think about that that four as an attacking, the three attacking midfielders and the striker, all four of them that's in there can form their own little diamond of sorts and just absolutely rotate round like a glorious staggified carousel and drop into each other's positions. You got Gardner who can play down either wing or down the middle or up front. Evans is good down the left-hand side. He can probably do something down the right or down the middle as well. T. Roberts can play in multiple positions. You've got Luke Bolton when he's fit and available as well. You've got Max Dickoff. The only exception probably to that would be Dom Dwyer. I think Clough's trying to shape it up so his formation is Liam Roberts in goal, a flat back four, and then the two defensive midfielders, and then a fluid front four.
The rest do what? Yeah. Reece Oates as well, throw him into the mix.
Of course, yeah.
Who?
Regan Henry, when he's back, he can play that attack. He played better in the more of an attacking role. But there's certainly a lot of choices up there when everyone's fit. But is it going to be rotation for the sake of rotation? At the moment, I feel like we're having to rotate because not everybody's really grabbing the shirt and keeping it. So for that reason, and obviously injuries are playing a part as well at the moment, but it's having to be rotated a lot at the moment for that reason. But at some point, I don't know what our best 11 is. Well, you could probably pick the back five, couldn't you? But higher up the pitch, there's a lot of choice, and I think there's still a lot to see from, or still we hope to see a lot more from certain players as well. So
Clough's waiting for one man, Nathan. Clough is waiting for one man.
Yes, we know that. Yeah, that's
and one man only. And when the final piece of that jigsaw is released from its current house, then that's when the football begins.
Nice choice of word as well. Nice choice of word. Released. Right. Let's go to this comment from Thomas as well. Who says, feel like the change in formation has killed Dwyer. Don't think Clough trusts him up top on his own. Would have worked well in a 2, I believe. I think Clough might have that in his mind a little bit, Alan, as well, because there will be some points this season where we do go back to the back 5 or back 3, and we go with 2 out-and-out strikers rather than the lone striker with the attack-minded diamond or the attacking staggy carousel, as I've just christened it.
Yeah, I thought that was quality. The staggy carousel. That's definitely one to stay. But I know you can't play everybody, but I just thought if you'd got Roberts behind the 2 of Dwyer and Gardner, and Will Evans on the left, I'm wondering if that'd work. I know you can't play everybody. You've got to have a midfield, to.
Where's the tactics board, Craig? Where is the tactics board? It could be up there right now.
It could be. I have to admit, the stand that I purchased from a well-known online retailer for about $2.99 kept getting in my way. I kicked it. It gave me a massive bruise on my shin, fell over, and I broke it. So it's no longer got a stand. So I had to sit there holding it. So I will order a new stand, and I will order one with magnetic board on, because I brought some magnetic dots and haven't been able to use them yet. Anyway.
But the thing is, if you've got those 4, Craig, and the 5 at the back of behind them, it only leaves you 2, doesn't it? Which is probably going to be Reed.
Who's nicked me pens? Who's had me whiteboard pens?
Harry's pinched them.
He has.
Just I know you can't play everybody. I've attempted to put Dave in Reed's place alongside McDonald. I'll get my words out in a minute.
I think Reed and McDonald complement each other. I really do. I think they work together well.
Exactly. Exactly. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to look. If Robbie Savage at Forest Green can take 4 players off after 30 seconds, we can play more than 11. It's absolutely fine. Right, keep your comments coming in. Have your say on your team. We're going to move on and talk about Mr. Lee Gregory now. Now, I'm going to do something which I've never usually done. I'm going to play a video clip which I've taken from the club's YouTube page. So thank you to Mansfield Town Football Club in advance. Go and watch all of their YouTube videos. I'm going to have to share it because I've never known moments like this happen before. We never usually do this for players. Let's just sit back and watch it, shall we?
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday the club announced the retirement of one of its best strikers this century. A 37-year-old who had scored over 200 goals in all competitions during his career, including 11 for Stags in 26 appearances across 2 spells. This player has now called time on his career following a distinguished career in the EFL, and is here now at pitchside to say a final few words. But before which, would you show your huge appreciation for Mr. Lee Gregory? Right, Lee, if you'd just like to say a few words.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart. It's stop before I start crying, please. No, honestly, it feels so great just to hear that. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been such a great career, and to start my career here and to end it, it's been so nice. So honestly, and you're in such good hands with this chairman and chairwoman, and the club's going in the right direction. I wish I could have played a lot longer, but unfortunately that's football, and you have to move on. So from me and my family, I just want to say thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Mr. Lee Gregory.
It was an emotional moment, really, watching that back. I know a few people are saying, never heard it in the Bishop Street stand. Well, that's not Alan's problem, is it? What do you want him to do? Go over with his ladder and start messing about with wires? Complain to the club. It was a disappointing moment when we saw that Gregory was going to retire, but we knew it was going to happen. Alan, I'll come to you first, because obviously, as we saw and heard there, you were heavily involved in that moment. Did you have a little chat with him before?
No, I just I was told when I got there, that what was going to happen, and that's why I did the teams early, because there was quite a lot going off. We're doing the Radford newsstand as well. I had tried
Sorry,
to
the what? So the what?
The Radford.
Sorry, the what?
Anyway, we'll carry on. I just got a chance to say well done, Lee, all the best. But when I handed him over the microphone and the fans were singing, it says, "If they don't stop, I'm going to cry here." And he was definitely all filled up with emotion and whatever. But nice chap.
Really good, Nathan, that actually as a club we finally acknowledge that, because how many times would we see something like that happen where a player retires and they just head off into the distance, never to be seen again, never to be given that chance to say goodbye and for the fans to say thank you as well.
Yeah, it's like you think like it would, like Stephen Quinn, for example, and it not really happened for him when he sort of retired, did it? But I was surprised as well, listening to that back. I didn't realise how few games Gregory actually played for us. Only 26. It actually feels like a lot more. I don't know if it's because he obviously started with us and then had come back and things, but it does feel like he's been here a lot more. But I think just because of the journey he's been on, regardless of whether what he's done for us, but what he's done for other clubs in the league, and always consistently played at like championship level. You got to be a good player to do that for the amount of time he has. So it was only fitting that he got that opportunity, like that. Like I said, we don't normally do it, but it was good to see.
Never, I don't think, Nick, as a player, been taken to heart so much. Like Nathan said there, hasn't actually played that many games for us. I always remember him signing in the conference and seeing him thinking, oh, he's an handful. Played 2 games, scored 1 goal, and I wasn't surprised to, see him go on and have a good career, and always wanted to see him come back, and was delighted when he did. Without him last year, we would have been down like an absolute stone, wouldn't we?
They'd get one in the end. I got one.
I knew you would.
Of course I would. Of course I would.
If
he'd have played once, I'd have probably had it, wouldn't I?
Exactly.
I think the one thing that really brought it home with Gregory is, when we went to the Clough the night with Clough, when I met him in the urinal, that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you hung out with little Nige. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold it while I wash my hands. All right, Nige. And all of the goals that they showed in that montage were Lee Gregory's. Like every goal that they showed just seemed. I was like, did anyone else actually score? And it sort of really brought home how important his goals were, because every little montage they showed seemed to be a Gregory goal. And when you look back at his goals, a lot of them were winners. We were winning games 1-0 and he was scoring, or we were drawing 1-1 like Birmingham and he scored. And he very rarely scored when it didn't matter. You know what I mean? He was always always scoring in the big game. So it'll definitely be missed, but without a shout, would have been down without him. He was a real part of this. Wow, we've got a proper EFL player. We're a League One club now. He scored in the first game. He didn't look back, did he? He was brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Didn't even have a pre-season, really, did he? He just sort of rocked up at Barnsley and played, and that was it. And yeah, such a shame to see him get injured. And I would have loved to see him given another year. But you have to do what's right for you. He could have probably got another year, 2 years, but at what damage to his whole life? Football's such a short career, and he's not a daft lad. He's got business interests off the pitch, and I'm sure he'll go on and watch his kids grow up and have a fantastic life, and will be welcome back in whatever shape or form, whether that be an after dinner speaker, an occasional co-commentator, or whatever. He'll be welcome back in open arms, and as ever, we'd love to have him we would have loved to have him as a guest on a trip down memory lane,
podcast guest.
Or stag stories, as we like to call it nowadays. So if anyone does know Mr. Gregory and has a contact for him, let us know. One thing that we should talk about, though, Alan, is the Cloughism of holding out for him for a little bit too long, because it was clear that he was going to struggle. And as every passing day went by during the summer window, and every time Steve-O asked Clough about what was going to happen, you knew what the answer was going to be. And the more time went on, you thought, yeah, this ain't going to work out well for us, is it? Should we have done more to sign a replacement striker, or have we in Tyler Roberts?
I think it's a 50-50 there for me, Craig. We've signed Tyler Roberts when the other loan, whoever it may have been, let him down. But I think he gave, from Nigel's point of view, as far as I can see, he gave Lee every chance, to prove his worth. And I think it must have been Lee, that kept, I'm nearly there, or, it's not happened again today. For whatever reason, I mean, we all thought that it would really struggle, because when you're that sort of age and you've got that sort of problem, and the player he was taking batterings week in, week out, holding the ball up, the writing was on the wall, as it were. But I think it's 50-50 to be fair to Nigel. He got Tyler Roberts in, from the other one. Does anybody know, by the way, who the other chap was? I'm going to say, I've never known.
Some bloke called Boran Jowry, apparently. Used to be a centre-back, is apparently now a striker.
Yeah, but fair play to both of them. But, it is sad to see him go, because nice chap on and off the field.
Nathan's late to the party.
That took a long time.
Nathan did delay.
Jim's internet. Mad delay. Oh dear. Right. Well, great to see him at One Call Stadium, and we wish him all the very best. And like we say, if he's out there listening or watching, get in touch with Mansfield Matters, or if anyone knows him, get in touch and put us in touch. We'd love to have him as a guest on Stag Stories to recount his career and, of course, talk about his 2 spells at Stags as well, including being one of about 4,000 players to play under that horrible bloke.
Right.
Yeah, the one whose name we don't mention. Now, Nathan, I've got a question for you.
Go on.
And that is, where is Lee Gregory's AI-generated song?
So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty bad on my part, isn't it? They hasn't got one yet.
It is. And do you know what? It's a
He
good
mentioned
job.
it to Alan. He mentioned it to Alan. He said, "Look, I'm waiting for the song."
Yeah, that's why he's left, isn't it? Because he hasn't got one.
Yeah.
So
Well, fear not, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Edge might not have made an AI Lee Gregory song,
Oh dear.
there we go.
but I have. We'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Started out with the Stags in 099. Yellow and blue, the future looked fine. Through the field, through the fight, he'd run. Halifax nights, where the dream begun. Millwall champs in the London air, Stokes roar, he left it there. But every road led him to be a Wednesday hero, can't you see? On a free from Chef Wednesday, he's our striker, he's our number 19. And he goes by the name of Gregory, he's the man, the myth, the goal machine. Kept the Stags alive, fought the fight, helped the dream survive. Feet like thunder, heart like steel. The game's his canvas, he paints it real. From Mansfield mud to Sheffield skies, he gave it all, no compromise. Halifax lights, Millwall's pride. Stokes echoes sing where legends reside. On a free from Chef Wednesday, he's our striker, he's our number 19. And he goes by the name of Gregory, he's the man, the myth, the goal machine. Mansfield mud to Sheffield skies, he gave it all, no compromise. Halifax lights, Millwall's pride. Stokes echoes sing where legends reside. On a free from Chef Wednesday, he's our striker, he's our number 19. And he goes by the name of Gregory, he's the man, the myth, the goal machine.
All right, I'll admit it needs a little bit of work, all right? It's never going to be perfect because I'm not Nathan Edge, but there you go. Right, we will be right back after these.
We're the Mansfield Matters crew, making podcasts just for you. Some show up, some disappear, but the Stags bring us all here. Through the ups and downs we stay, talking Mansfield Town every day.
You're back with the Mansfield Matters Podcast, the show for the fans, by the fans. Why? Because AI songs matter. We'll never get nominated for an award. Nathan, what did you make of a 2-minute AI effort?
It was all right. I'll give you a C.
All right, I'll take a C.
Your first
I'll
C.
take a C. What?
Okay. Nothing, Karen.
Right, let's move on, shall we? And talk all things off the pitch. We this week had a deaf goalkeeper come in and train with the club. Really interesting to see that happen, Alan. We'll talk more about him and sort of give the plug to his Just Giving page or whatever it is in just a minute. But lovely to see the Stags do a little bit of a of community sort of partnership there.
And I think it surprised it from the clip that I saw. I think it surprised the gentleman himself, when they said, right, you can come down and train with the lad. I don't know whether they thought it was just a photo shoot or, little bits and bobs, but I thought he did reasonably well. I quite enjoyed watching that piece. It was quite interesting. And good luck to that lad in, for his future conduct in whatever he's doing.
His name is Alex Smith, and he's got to fund himself as part of his selection to represent Great Britain at the Tokyo Deaf Olympics later this year. If you can help, please help Alex achieve his dream. The link that you need is in the description. Every little bit helps, but really good to see him training with the goalkeepers, Nick, and good to see us do that little bit of community outreach as well. And who knows what might happen in the future.
I missed that completely. I didn't know we had a deaf goalkeeper training with us. So, but it's good though. Is he from Mansfield? Is there any link to Mansfield, or is he just? Where's he from?
Got to be honest, I don't know.
I thought he said he was from Mansfield. So
that's good. If he's from Mansfield, that's good. Yeah, I don't want us importing deaf people for these videos. But if we can help somebody local, then that's great.
From Red
we should. Well, we should. Yeah, I'd like to see more of the stuff we do away from the football pitch. I think that's a positive. We enjoyed Sid's videos. I think I'm sure the club do a lot more. Like even at my daughter's school, they do a lot of good stuff there, the community stuff. So I think more regular features would be good.
You know what?
Yeah,
to be fair, they are pretty. I mean, go rewind the clock like what?
Rewind the what?
Rewind the what?
I can't give a word.
Right,
like 2017, 2016. Quack.
But rewind that.
Yeah. Obviously, when I was on my journey of trying to get into the England blind squad, the Radford family, the Radford Radford Foundation, I should say, they paid for me to get a coach to come in because I had to travel to Hereford all the time, so I couldn't get much more locally. But they did pay for a coach to come round and specific blind football coach, so I could get extra training in that I was doing on the 3G pitch by Stags. And that played a massive part to me actually getting to play for England. And then I'll never forget what one day David Flitcroft, he was a manager at the time. What a guy! He always took an interest, to be fair, because I was always training in the day, and it was back when they used to train up on the top pitch. By the 3G pitch. So when they were finished, they often come past, and I was pooing myself because some of the lads were watching every now and then. So I was like, "What's this pressure in it?" But no, Dave came on and he put a blindfold on.
Not
he was
that
walking
Dave,
around.
Dave Flitcroft. We have to clarify.
Sorry,
his surname's Nave.
Dave Flitcroft was galvanized and come on with
where is it? I can't do it because Harry. For some reason, I do have the bell. The bell still is here, but for some reason, Harry the dog now hates bell noises. I know. I still have it, but I can't use it because Harry the dog hates bell noises, and yeah.
Can I clarify, Nathan? I'm trying to clarify whether they got you when you said they got you a coach to get to Hereford. I didn't know whether they got you a person or a bus.
No, it was. I had to train in Hereford. That's where the main England.
So it was a bus.
Camp was, apart from St George's Park. No, they got a person to coach me, so I could do more training at home. No.
This is confusing me.
He trained me at home. He trained me on the 3G pitch.
And just wondering cautiously, how did he arrive at One Call Stadium? Did he get a bus?
He came
I can just picture Nathan on his own in a bus going down the M1 on his own with the Radford Foundation on the side of it. Just
everywhere was a coach. Let's go with that. But no, back to the point. Anyway, Dave at that point, Dave Flitcroft he did mention we were going to look at getting something done with the players, but I think he was once he put the blindfold on himself and realised how scary it actually was taking 2 steps forward, never mind trying to run around on a pitch. He decided that was going to be a bit dangerous for the lads to probably get injured, so he chose against it at the end. But no, my point was they have been pretty. They was really supportive with me, so it doesn't surprise me to see the club are doing that with the deaf player. And I think there's a lot more of that does go on behind the scenes that we don't always find out about. So it's good to see that they're actually publicising that through the media. They should do that a bit more.
Yeah, they should. Like a monthly update or something about what they've been doing in the community would be great. All those little things. It's really good to see that the club is coming on in that way.
Does that blindfold on Flitcroft explain his team selection for the MK Dons game?
Do not speak ill of David Flitcroft, all right? But maybe.
I was wondering if that's how Alex McDonald ended up at right back, but maybe not. Maybe the boat's sailed on that debate.
Alex McDonald should not have been on the pitch at all, but let's just carry on.
God, this is like the podcast again.
I'm not doing an Andy.
He was at the Stags on Saturday, just to let you know. He put on Instagram he was at the game.
Oh God, I was not thinking of signing. The free agent, isn't he?
He is free agent, yeah.
Good Lord, I'm glad we've put Aikens on the list now, so we've got nobody else to come in.
Hello, is that Nigel? My name's Alex McDonald. I can play right wing back, and I can play right wing, and I can play centre mid. I played League One.
Get him in.
He's in. Can you play centre back, son? No chance. I'm no Jordan Bowery.
He's waiting for Big Steve to get another. Well, sorry, Little Steve now to get another job.
Steve, yeah.
Littler Steve to get another job, so he's got a club to go to. That's all he can do.
Oh, fantastic. Talking of community things as well, Chris has been in touch to say, talking of Lee Gregory, him and Oates came into my primary school to do a talk with the children. They were both so lovely and took lots of photos. Shame these things aren't shared. Yeah, absolutely. There are various reasons why some can't be shared, but it's really great to see the community getting out there and the first team doing bits and bobs like that. It's not the first time that Adam Collin, the goalkeeping coach, has done little bits and bobs like that. He's done lots with the younger ones. I think there was a younger lad a few months ago, again through the community trust, etc., who did something. But there you go. Right, that's one positive thing. I want to swing from positive to negative because this is, believe it or not, a balanced show. I know we'll never win an award or get nominated. I want to talk about player sponsorships because 2025-26 player sponsorships are still available. Whether you're a lifelong supporter, a local business looking to raise your profile, or a young fan dreaming of a closer connection to your favourite player, there's a sponsorship option for everyone in the upcoming campaign. Sponsorship packages can vary from home, away, or third shirt options, as well as some new sponsorship options for next season. There's home shirt sponsorships available. There's away and third shirts. The prices are as follows. For a home shirt sponsorship, it's £795 plus VAT. For away shirts, it's £495 plus VAT. And for a third shirt, it's £395 plus VAT. If you're a young supporter, a young, how old your oldest now, Nathan? He's tried on his first stag shirt today, hasn't he? What is he coming up? 3, 4 now?
He's had stag shirts before, but he went to school in one today. Yeah, he's 4.
Right. So Nathan's youngest, 4 years old, right? Oldest, 4 years old. I knew what I meant. This is the start of a rant. Let's embrace it. He's let's say for example Nathan's took him along to his first Stags game, or the players have come through, and Jordan Bowery's been in his school, and he comes home and says, "Dad, that Jordan Bowery fella's a cracking one. I think he should have his own stand named after him." And his dad goes, "Don't worry about that. Your Uncle Craig's already on that one. What about what can I sponsor him though, Dad? Has your little lad got that amount of pocket money to spend on his own shirt?"
I mean, if he sold some of his toys, he probably would, but no.
Do you see what I mean? My point is, I love the fact that the club are saying that it's something for everyone, but I've not got 740 odd quid down the back of the sofa to sponsor Jordan Bowery's home shirt, right? I would love to. I personally think that the prices, like Thomas says in the comments, are borderline outrageous. If you want, I think there should be another level introduced for, the average Joe fan to do some form of sponsorship. It's great having the tier A for the local businesses because they will, 90% of them get swept up and then get shouted out by Alan pre-match. But, I want to know where Billy the Cockapoo's got his 740 quid from, to be honest. What's he doing for that? Do you know what I mean?
You want to know what he's sniffing, don't you? He's sniffing something for that. You don't even get a match-worn shirt, though. That's one thing. You get just a shirt printed at the shop. You don't even get a match-worn shirt. So
You do, don't you?
Well, not the ones I've seen. When I look at the pictures, when I look at the pictures, they ain't match-worn. They're just someone stuck some badges on them.
It does
to break your bubble if you paid 750.
It does say a match-worn signed shirt presented to you by the player at the sponsors' lunch.
And I did sponsor Paul Anderson a few years ago, and that was match-worn.
The old ones used to be, but the last couple of years I've noticed that.
Well, I'll tell you what, there'll be trouble, because
I'll check it for you.
Blazer Blake Tracy has got a fantastic away sponsor this year, even though it is ludicrous pricing. But it's and obviously he scored, and the logo. No, sorry, not the logo. Just a little bit of writing was there on the graphic, but
yeah,
no. Because of that,
podcast prediction, shouldn't you?
Because of that, I'm on the business mailing list. Here's another one for you. And again, fair play to the club. If they get someone to do it, superb. But they've just released an email yesterday about sponsoring the 50-50 draw tickets. So there are going to be new ways of buying them, blah, blah, blah. But they're expecting to sell around 18,000 a season is what they've said, with them going up a little bit. Do you want to know how much it is to try and sponsor
I'm going to say
your name on it?
18,000 quid.
650 plus VAT.
£1,495 plus VAT. Yeah.
We're on it. We'll have two.
Breaking news from the Mansfield Matters Podcast. Craig could be about to say something which gets the podcast taken off air. Let's not do that. Right. On the flip side, though, they have added a new package, Alan, which I do like the sound of. And that is training shirt sponsorships will be available. They're going to bring each sponsor the following benefits: a signed training shirt from your sponsored player, a photo with your chosen player, an exclusive invite to our players' sponsors lunch where you can meet the squad and fellow sponsors. For this package, there will be one sponsor per player. The price for this option is £250 plus VAT. Now, that's 50 quid more than a junior sponsorship, where you get a birthday card signed by the first team. I still think that's quite steep, because where are you going to get your exposure who are you going to sell your business to unless it's going to be the manager or the scout from the opposing team in the bushes at the bottom of the field with a pair of binoculars like that, trying to check out where Barry's playing this week?
Can I just say as well, I think you'd struggle getting Barry's, Craig, because Ollerton Stags are all over that, Mr. Barry.
Oh, they got an extra shout out there. They're getting their money's worth.
You owe me 100 quid.
They haven't paid for that either. They
haven't paid for that
now. They haven't paid for that.
150 quid.
They've got Alan on the payroll.
Yeah,
That's what he does on a Monday. We've worked out now what he does on a Monday.
This is how it works. This is why he's able to
propaganda.
Rocking up in Ollerton with gold chains around his neck.
Well, where did he say he's going Tuesday?
I know, exactly Tuesday? That. I know.
Unbelievable.
I know. Absolute joke, but there you go. I just think that, you have to make money. A football club has to make money. Of course they do. It is a business at the end of the day. And the sponsorship opportunities and the reach that it can bring, it is big. But just sometimes I think it's overpriced for what it is. And I don't think, unless you can afford to really do it, I think you'd struggle. I think even if we did it as a collective, splitting it between the seven of us would still cost us an amount of money, which, we don't all have spare down the sofa. So maybe think of all the ways in which you can sponsor and do it a little bit cheaper. There's various other bits and bobs, but yeah, it just made me smile a little bit that it was, to sponsor a training top, which you're only going to see you're not even going to get your name on. What's going to happen? You're going to get your name printed on the shirt or what? I don't get how I don't get how your exposure is going to get. Do you know what I mean?
You're not getting it.
Can I sponsor a cubicle in the Sid Pepper toilets? I'd sponsor a cubicle.
There it is. The Mansfield Matters Sid Pepper toilets.
But only one. You only get one cubicle.
Damn toilets in the land.
One urinal apiece.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
One could be called Clive. One Alan. Jim.
The Alan Lou. Just stand there outside shaking the hands of the commercial staff and Sid Pepper.
I wonder
can
where
see
you're
it
going
now.
with shaking then.
Well, yeah, we probably shouldn't, should we? We probably shouldn't. And on that cheery note, let's do this.
The game of luck, who gives up, don't mess it up. I hear you say, how do you play? Win, lose or draw, then pick a score and one more thing. Pick a hero, don't score zero, that's the game. But we're not fools, this game has rules. It gets on time, you'll be fine, remember the rhyme. That's predictions. That's predictions. Remember the rhyme. Guess on time, you'll be fine. Remember the rhyme. That's predictions.
So, podcast predictions time then. And let's first and foremost start with the results from game number 8, I think it was, I can't remember. From the Stevenage game anyway. 13 people correctly predicted a 1-1 draw, but only 6 people went on to be winners as they chose McDonald as their fantasy player, meaning they got 25 points apiece at the weekend. They were Lee T. Harrison, Olivia Wilson, Matt Piercy, Kathy Holmes, Steve Nadian and Kiwi Stag. The overall top 3 in third place, Steve Nadian on 81 points, Olivia Wilson on 99 points, and the first player to get over 100 points this season, Matt Piercy, the current leader, on 103. The Mansfield Matters table at the moment, Clive and Jim. Clive is in third place on 57 points. Jim is in second with 63, and I still lead the way, 1 point ahead of Jim on 64. Your best picks for players last weekend: Reed would have got you the most points with 11, McDonald got you 10, Gardner and Liam Roberts got you 7, Sweeney got you 5, McLaughlin, Little Nobby Welsh and Noyle got you 3, Tyler Roberts, Evans and Bowery got you 2, Lewis and Maris got you 1, Blake Tracy scored you 0, and if you picked anyone else, it was -5 points. Right, predictions time then. Now, earlier on in the chat, Clive suggested that he was going to go for a 6-0 win, picking Gregory as his fantasy player. You can't pick Gregory as your fantasy player, Clive, because he doesn't play for us anymore, and that would score you -5. In fact, you know what? For picking a player that doesn't even play for us anymore, I'm going to say you lose all your points forever and a day. So if you want to pop up with another prediction, you can do so. I'm going to win with Evans as my player. Alan, I'm going to throw it to you. Win, lose or draw?
Win.
What will be the score?
2-0.
And your player?
McDonald.
Clive, by the way, is stuck with the 6-0, has gone for Little Nobby Welsh. For the 6-0 and gone for Little Nobby Welsh. Nick?
2-1 defeat, Reed.
2-1 defeat, who, sorry?
Reed.
Reed, okay. And Nathan?
Win 2-0. Tyler Roberts.
Have you just gone for a 6-0 win?
What, 2-0?
You said 6-0, didn't you?
I thought you said
No,
6-0. I was
two,
like, we're a bit
two.
confident. Have I missed something about Port Vale this week?
TWO.
Oh dear, honestly, see what I have to put up with. If you want to play along with podcast predictions, you can do so via the link that is in the description. And a reminder that you must submit your prediction no later than 90 minutes before kickoff on your selected game. And a reminder that you can't pick the same player 2 weeks in a row because you will score minus points. Right, quick word on Port Vale. Then obviously the last time we played them in the league, Nathan, was the playoff final all those years ago. They've been up, they've been down, and now they're back up again. They've yo-yoed a little bit whilst the Stags have been on a gradual climb. Can we banish some ghosts, especially after they knocked us out of the cup as well the following season?
I hope so. We opened them one, so and then I got off to the best start. So hopefully with a decent following, we'll do what we need to do and get a nice 3 points on the board would be lovely.
Yeah, it certainly would. Nick, both sides have come a long way since. Obviously, the Stags have kept with their manager, but Port Vale have been for a few now. Although, under their current manager, they seem to be turning a corner and building steadily for the future, although they've not had the start which they would have aimed for.
No, a colleague of mine's a Port Vale fan, and he seems to think they've just let a lot of leads slip late in games. So we don't do very well there. Well, certainly the last few times we haven't done particularly well there. So I don't necessarily fancy us to win, but every time I've predicted a win, we've lost, and every time I've predicted a loss, we've won. So I've gone for a loss on that basis.
There you go. Alan, always a difficult place to go, but we'll be backed by a nice number of Stags fans as well. Good opportunity to try and get 3 points on the board and get some more minutes in people's legs and try and establish a stronger forward line than what we have, especially with the injuries situation that we've got as well. Good opportunity for some players to step up and make a name for themselves.
Yeah, it'd be nice for Gardner to get another one on the score sheet, get Tyler firing on all cylinders, and I think it could be a positive result, hopefully.
Well, we will find out and we'll talk all about it on Monday. Alan, Nick, Nathan, thanks so much for joining us as ever, and you guys at home as well. That's it. That's the full-time whistle on this week's Mansfield Matters podcast. My thanks, as ever, to the Mansfield Matters podcast panel for joining me, and of course, to you guys at home for watching or for listening. As always, if you want to get involved in the comments, follow us on social media to find out when we're next going to be live. Spoiler alert, it'll be next Monday at 7:30. And don't forget to play along with podcast predictions. The link that you need is in the description. A reminder that you cannot pick the same player 2 games in a row, and you must submit your predictions no later than 90 minutes before kick-off. Right, we're off to have a well-earned cup of tea and to get ready for Saturday's trip to Port Vale and a huge announcement on Monday's podcast. Join us to find out what that will be. Have a fantastic weekend, one in which hopefully the Stags can avenge an old nigging problem and get one over an old enemy. See you next time.